You alright?
Yeah.
Things annoy me.
Yeah? What?
Well, one, the fact that I've got an Urban Explorer t-shirt and we're not called the Urban Explorer.
Hence plain t-shirt.
Anyway.
Hey!
Do you know what annoys me? People
You're using bad language all the time.
People paying £140 to have the brakes done. When brakes are about £40. Now, brake pads. We're going to show you how you do your front brake pads on a VW Crafter. And yes, there's going to be loads of you sitting there going, I don't know how to do this. But we're going to show you, because there'll be plenty of people that don't know. Emma doesn't know, do you?
Not on a Crafter.
But she's done a towing.
I have.
Serious accident. Consisting of too much alcohol and Emma a glass on a foot. I'll let you figure out what happened.
Shut up.
Just saying. First of all, let's get the wheel off and go from there.
Right, so Neil's done all the nuts on the inner part of the wheel because his nuts are quite loose. And what we do, just pull that off and roll it away.
Right, so before you actually do your brakes, what you need to do first, more importantly, is undo your brake reservoir and take the cap off it. The reason being is that when you're pushing the piston back in, you need the fluid to go up into the reservoir. If the cap's on, there's going to be pressure on it, you won't budge the piston. With it off, it will just glide in. So, let's get the calipers off. You're going to get two sets of cables as well. They're your wear sensors, and in the pack we've got, it's given us two different sets for two different types of wear sensors. Also, you get this bag as well, which has got some little rubber grommets, and it's got some new replacement shoe holding bolts on as well. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll show you what all these are for. Just means that you can replace the whole system that is keeping your caliper in place, or the actual outer caliper in place. You can replace all these, and you can replace the bolts as well. New wear sensors and obviously new pads. So first of all, we got to get the old pads off and check and just see just how much difference there is between these pads and the old pads. Time for you to do some work, little girl.
No.
So I get dirty?
Yeah.
Okay.
You like being dirty? You're filthy anyway.
Also, I've just come off the phone to Will's whereabouts. He's having problems with his little van. We might be going down there to help him. Fancy a trip to see Will?
Yeah.
We like Will, don't we?
We do like Will.
But we're also going to be at the Overlander show week on when?
Thursday?
Week on Thursday. So if you haven't bought tickets for the Overlander show, well, you leave your links in the description. Go and get them. We're all going to be there. Come and say hello. Might even have some non-Urban Explorer stickers. New ones. Right, brakes. Right, so once you got your wheel off, you're going to have on the top, you have one of these rubber things here, and then on the very bottom, just inside there, you're going to have another one. So you need to just get yourself a pokey stick and then just take these off. One, and then you'll have one on the bottom, which is two, which are they just them. And then behind them, which you can't really see, inside there are the actual bolts that keep this side of the piston on. Then you can't really see inside because it's too dark, but inside the top there's going to be a bolt, and inside the bottom there is going to be a bolt. We might actually undo the sensor which is there, which is only on a 6mm bolt there, and it just means that this cable can be moved out the way, so this comes off totally. It'll be an Allen bolt in there, inside there, and inside the bottom. So we'll do them first, and then we'll do this. Right, so we'll do these two bolts. It's a HV6, which is an Allen key, and it will literally just slide in behind, just there, like that, and then your Allen key will go on the bottom, on the top. But you do have this wear sensor, which will just clip off. You can push that out the way just so you don't get any damage to it. Now these are probably going to be really tight. No.
Looser than you thought.
Yeah. So there's one, and then we just got to get the bottom one off. So there's the bottom one off as well. And then now this top caliper will literally just come away from the body of the main caliper. Might need a bit of force, but it will come off. With a little bit of persuasion, will come right off. And then your wear sensor will attach to that point there. You don't need to remove this, just put this out the way on top, so it's not going to fall anywhere, it's not going to go anywhere, because you don't want to damage the brake lines. So next job is to get the two actual brake pads off, which should be relatively easy. There's one, and then there's the other. Right, now let's have a look at these compared to the new ones. A little bit of a difference in them too, isn't it?
Just ever so slightly.
So these are the new ones that are going on, and then we can see by this sensor here that we're going to need, out of the two sensors that are supplied with the pack, we're going to need these ones. So this sensor literally just slots onto there like that, with the cable going inwards, because that's got to pass through the caliper and then go. So we've got one there, and then we'll just attach this one to the other side. One we're doing the other side, and then you've got protection caps on them so you can undo them. Now we're going to use a piston spreader or a piston pusher or whatever you want to call them. It just makes sure that you can push them in evenly all the way around. They're really cheap to buy, and it just goes in like that, and then what you do is dead fiddly. So once that's all in, get your bigger spanner on there and just wind this back piston out. It's a little bit fiddly because you're trying to work with one hand or two hands. And you can see that's pushing that piston back in now. So you can see we've got a lot more room on this piston than we have on this piston, so that will accommodate for the new pads. So let's push this one back in now, and when you're pushing this back in, all the brake fluid is going right the way through and then up into your reservoir. That's why you're under your reservoir. It's always good to give your actual runners a bit of a clean. Use whatever you can just to clean them, give them a clean off. And then your actual brake discs and brake pads themselves, get yourself some copper slip, just give it a little copper slip on there, and then the same on this one as well. Don't get any of this on the actual pads. When you put your pad back in, the copper grease or the copper slip will just help them slot in, and what that does is when they're expanding in and out, the grease just helps them to glide that little bit better on the carriers. So front one done, just got the back one clipped in. So front's in, back's in, now we've got the caliper back on over these two, and if we need to open these a little bit more we have to push them back in, but that is it. Don't forget to push this through the hole that's in the middle, and then that clips in. I'll show you that in a minute.
What was that?
So pass that through the sensor, right through the middle, and then that will clip straight in down there into the little hole, which might be a bit fiddly. There we go, that's that pushed in, nice and locked in. Then we just got to replace the top bolt and the bottom bolt with the new ones, and then put the new covers on. You get new bolts and new covers, so we can just get them in now. And again, now if you notice there, we've kinked it. So it's because we'd rotated this over, and then when we've been putting it back on, we'd rotated it under. So always check that your cables and your pipes are running fine and smooth and free, and don't make that mistake. But it was a nice mistake for it to happen on camera, because it got you to see what to look for. So right, we need to get these bolts back in and get it all tightened up. So then just replace your two top and your bottom bolts, which hold the actual caliper in place. They will thread in fairly easy, and then get my good nip up. And then you've got new covers, which will literally just clip on the top there, one on the top there, and then this one will go on the bottom, just to protect these two bolts from getting rust, crap, so you can do the job over again. Right, one thing I like to do is, once you've done one side, as you can see, the wheel is spinning. Turn your ignition on, don't start the engine, just give the foot brake a couple of pumps to make sure that this locks and doesn't spin. So Emma's going to spin the wheel, and I'm going to pump the brakes.
I like this game. Yeah, that's stopped. It's stopped. Can't. Oh, I can now. No, can't move it.
Right. Now that we've applied the brakes, you know they work. I mean, shit if they don't.
That's not good if they don't.
No, they work.
Yes.
You can do the other side.
Okay. Yay! I like this game. Hey! Bye-bye! For now. So when you've finished and you've made sure all your nuts are on, everything's all tight, you've checked whether everything's working, then you come back over here and then you check your levels of your fluid are all okay, and then you just pop your caps back on, and job's a good one.
And that's it, done. That's your brake pads on the front done. We did have the back ones done last week by Scallon Autos, mainly because it's two brake pads. It's inner ones for your handbrake and it's outer ones. Cheers, Sean. I will leave links in the description to his Instagram. If you are in Liverpool, Scallon Autos, definitely recommend you go there. So it's time to
Clean up.
I know. Good job. Nice.
I actually hate you.
Bye bye, don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you at the Overlander show.